Chinese to John Calipari and this Arkansas basketball program. We welcome you in here early in on this Tuesday where sounds like that Calipari is really starting to build this roster. Not halfway there just yet. 5 of the 13 guys have been filled, but filled with some talent. You got 3 stud freshmen, 4 or 5-star, depending on what recruiting service you look at. You got a second-year player in Big Z, and then Jonas Aidoo, who's a veteran SEC player who really came on this past season for Rick Barnes' Tennessee Volunteers. So happy to see that. Might get another good announcement later on today when Brandon Garrison makes his decision, former Oklahoma State Cowboy. Bandwagon's filling up pretty quick, Tommy.
Yeah, and seems like every day there's starting to be a little traction and a little momentum. I think there's maybe something to the rhythm of this. We'll discuss it all. McClarty Daniel hotline already fired up. Put some gas in it earlier, and we're ready to go. So you can call us. You can text us, 877-377-6963 on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hard to believe that we are already at Derby weekend, but the Kentucky Derby coming up this weekend at Oaklawn. Be sure to download the Oaklawn Anywhere app. It's never too late to do that and enjoy the races this weekend. You can watch and wager on not just the Kentucky Derby, but the final weekend of live racing at Oaklawn. You can get that, still get that $150 sign-up bonus when you sign up. This weekend's going to be full with the Kentucky Oaks on Friday, Ladies' Day at Churchill, and then, of course, the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. We'll have first post time from Churchill at 9:30 Saturday morning. Live racing through Sunday at Oaklawn. Don't forget first post time on Friday for the final weekend at 12:15, 12 noon on Saturday, and 12:30 on the final day on Sunday, May the 5th. It's all at Oaklawn. Get the Oaklawn Anywhere app. And again, use promo code RUSH24 for your $150 sign-up bonus.
So maybe you're waking up this morning to the news. Maybe you're also waking up to this morning after Oklahoma City sweeps the New Orleans Pelicans last night. Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, another big part of that.
Here's a pick. It's Joe the other way, checks the rear view. He's going to beat Marshall with a cup.
So they knock out the New Orleans Pelicans. The Los Angeles Lakers are eliminated, and the Boston Celtics go up with a 3-1 series lead over the Miami Heat. So encouraged to see that Jalen and Isaiah, both pivotal parts of this Thunder team. Jalen had 11 minutes yesterday, 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal. And then Isaiah, you just heard his 2 points and a rebound that he got yesterday. If you're going to jump on the bandwagon of any NBA team, I know that there's a lot of people that have really flocked to Anthony Edwards and deservedly so, but if you're in this state listening, it's Oklahoma City. And I saw some people that are really excited about these Western Conference semifinals. You got to remember, this was a team 3 years ago that was the worst team in the NBA. They were terrible. And Dagnall took this team 17 more wins this year. He wins Coach of the Year. And again, 2 pivotal pieces are Arkansas Razorbacks, which is just pretty stinking cool.
And it makes those that maybe have just kind of been, bandwagon or, fair weather Oklahoma City fans. It just makes it a little easier to fully get on board, get both feet in the circle. I've got to get better about the NBA. We're not quite to the part of the playoffs where I get kind of dialed in and invested. And so far, former Razorbacks I've kept an eye on it, but, mainly kind of the things you're talking about, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of people like me out there, but I think there's more people. I think the amount of time you're spending and investing watching the NBA playoffs is growing. I think it, with the former Hogs and just with the star power of the sport, I think clearly the numbers indicate they're on the rise.
Well, the biggest part of what you just mentioned is the former Hogs. Like I would not be as invested. My NBA fandom has gone down a lot in the last 5 to 10 years, just because I have found myself, you always talk about this with Arkansas baseball and Cardinal baseball. You only have so much time in the day, and there's 24 hours for everyone. So my NBA has love has just gone down because I've got other stuff I'm having to do. But with having 2 former Razorbacks on my favorite team, it hasn't necessarily risen to the level of level it was in high school and college, but it's getting back there. And every time I flick it on, it seems like Isaiah and Jalen are in the spotlight, whether they're doing the post-game interviews or whether they're scoring like good teammates, and a big part, again, why Oklahoma City is where they are. And we mentioned, again, teammates off the jump. Also want to mention that Dominique Johnson, according to Hog Beat, looks like he's going to enter the Johnson, I guess, a week or so ago. Now, Dominique Johnson, a guy that really had a really good sophomore year. That's when he exploded in 2021. But it sure sounds like that he is not going to be a part of this Arkansas football program.
That's a couple hits to your running back room in the portal. And, how do you address it? Obviously, I guess you attempt to go into the portal. I'm just not sure. Can you trade up at this point in the calendar year? I possibly, but I mean, sounds like some of these new guys that, had good springs, but not necessarily the greatest spring game on the red-white game are the ones that they're going to rely on for the 1s and 2s, just listening to how Clay's laid it out and how, how things seem to be going. But yeah, that's a couple hits to the running back room now in the portal. And, guys aren't leaving because they're getting too many carries. So they're looking for more playing time. And I think NIL is obviously a part of this. Everybody thinks they're worth a gazillion dollars out there, and then they sometimes find out they're not. Yeah,
Jaquindon Jackson and R-Dub, Rashad Dominion, it's their backfield. And I think Jackson's ultimately going to get the start. And Damo, and then you kind of referred to Isaiah Gustive, both guys that have entered the portal the last few weeks. It sounds like he's about to enter, but I don't know if it's official just yet.
Gustive is.
Yeah, Gustive is, but Damo's not. And that's the reason I say Damo is that's what Sam Pittman refers to him. So it really seemed to like him. You think about what he's had to go through in his college career to this point, torn his ACL twice and having to recover from that. Which is just, it's tough. As someone that's gone through that injury, it's hard enough to do it once. Now he's had to do it twice, and he just wasn't the same player. Like, he was a beast in 2021 and just never got fully back into form, got behind in the depth chart, and now is looking elsewhere to continue his college and ultimately finish his college football future.
Yeah. So, and we know running back's a big part of Bobby Petrino's offense. He gets the ball in their hands a lot of different ways. You don't have to just get a handoff and run it between the tackles somewhere. They throw to these guys. The famous wheel route, of course, to Ronnie Wingo against Alabama is the one that first comes to mind. But point being, they utilize the running backs in a lot of different ways. But the one thing a running back has to do in Bobby Petrino's offense is protect the quarterback, and has to be ready to chip an end or a linebacker, somebody, a corner blitz, has to be ready to pick that up when they drop the quarterback. So for passing. So that will be, an obvious requirement moving forward with his offense. All right. Off and running here on a Bandwagon Tuesday, brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. If you're looking for a new opportunity and a new career path, perhaps, APAC Arcola in Northwest Arkansas and North Central Arkansas has immediate job openings right now. You can go to jobs.crh.com. Looking for licensed CDL drivers, heavy equipment operators, diesel mechanics are in high demand right now. They've got opportunities for you. If you've worked in a quarry before, you know how to run specialized equipment. You've got experience with paving, asphalt, or finishing concrete. They've got a job and an opening right now for you with great pay, great benefits, sign-on bonus, insurance, profit sharing, and retirement, all part of it. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, so here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. Stay with us on the Morning Rush.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, Get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches, and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at CUISoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79. At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
This is like catching a big brown trout on the White River. I've always wanted this. Give me the Hogs, Chuck.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a high fly ball left field hit deep. Yost is running back. He's at the wall. Aloy's tied the game. It's out of here.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Your Arkansas baseball team is back in action tonight against Missouri State. 6:30 first pitch. We'll have it for you on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations, plus hitthatline.com. And then tomorrow, final midweek games of the season. They are trying for the first time since 2005 to go undefeated in these midweeks and can end the season 11-0. Missouri State's been a team that has been, as Sterling mentioned yesterday via the McClarty Daniel hotline, a decent rival and it's been a baseball rival, not anything else, but a good baseball rival. So they'll be your final two midweek games, and Tommy, we'll see how the night goes with Batesville's own Gage Wood getting his first collegiate start tonight.
I was looking here on the Bet Saracen app and pulling it up. There's some bets tonight that you can place, some player props. Arkansas's team over 8.5 total hits and 2.5 extra base hits. What do you think about that? Plus 165.
Hit it.
Kendall Diggs, Nolan Souza, over 1.5 hits, over half an RBI combined.
Kendall hasn't been himself, even coming off that injury. I would say that if you're going to bet that, you got to rely on Nolan to be the one that gets it done. Nolan's a lot better at home than he is on the road when it comes to getting hits.
And then let me find one more here. Hudson White, over half an extra base hit and over half an RBI.
Hit it.
All right. Then just looking at the game tonight, Arkansas's minus 1,000, Missouri State plus 550. So you can find not just Arkansas Razorback stuff on there, but NBA playoffs, as you were mentioning, Major League Baseball season's up and in full swing. So any sport you like, it's up there. They've got odds, and with the Arkansas stuff, just extra bets and stuff that's fun to play, plus live betting as well. If you don't have the Bet Saracen app, be sure and download it now to your mobile phone, your app, or your in the Apple App Store, or go to the Google Play Store and get it as well.
So with Jonas Aidoo's commitment, Brendan Van Buren texting on the McCarty Daniel hotline that he has finally jumped on the Cal bandwagon. I guess it took him a little bit before he was finally on board. Got another message
okay. Explain that thought to me. You are not on the Calipari bandwagon.
I think people are just wondering who he's going to end up getting here. Because, I mean, it wasn't...
Well, okay, you may not know the names, but how can you not? When you say you're not on the bandwagon, it means you don't fully believe he can get the job done. That's what I hear when you tell me that. Hey, I'm not fully on the bandwagon. Then that tells me you don't believe he can get the job done here.
Well, I still have reservations about it. I mean, all you have to do is look at the last 5 years. That's all you have to do. I mean, there's no postseason.
So if he doesn't win a national championship here, is a miserable failure.
I think when you look at the amount of money he's being paid, I think if he doesn't get to a Final Four in 5 years, some people, including myself, will probably look at that as a little bit of a failure. And I don't know if that's fair or not.
To a Final Four.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a reasonable expectation.
Okay. Based on just where he's paid in the pecking order of college basketball coaches and where Arkansas's NIL funding is reportedly. Again, some of those facts and figures you just never know, but based on who they've gotten with the five guys.
That's not crazy talk.
Okay. Ron messaging in on our video live stream saying, great pickup with Jonas Aidoo. I think, let's see, I know most think adding Garrison isn't a great idea, but I disagree. Adding quality depth with the bigs can be beneficial for us over the course of the season. Brandon Garrison announcing his commitment later on today. For those that don't know, it's the Oklahoma State Cowboys center that is going to be a sophomore this upcoming season. Was highly recruited out of high school. We'll see if he picks Arkansas as his destination. Let's talk to Ryan, who's in Hot Springs on the McCarty Daniel hotline. Ryan, what's up, man?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Hey, I got an update for you. Tommy's going to love this. So, here a while back, I called and told you about how my wife was to mess with me. She'd get my daughter to say Roll Tide because she was a huge Nick Saban fan when he was at. Well, anyway, now when she tries that, my daughter will actually look at my wife and go, "Hey, we don't say that. We say Woo Pig."
That's good. That's proper parenting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
now,
sir.
and now if she's a Nick Saban fan, I guess you'd have to say Go ESPN or Go ABC, right?
Right, but I just thought I'd tell you about that right quick. On a bandwagon Tuesday, my daughter is squarely on the Razorback bandwagon.
As she should be. As she very much should be. That is good parenting, right? I think about like when you have divided households and you have like the separate license plate, like a house divided. One's got Arkansas, one's got LSU. Or like my parents, for example, have a Baylor, Alabama flag outside their house. It's probably the only one in the entire United States that is half Baylor, half Alabama. But for the grandkids, there's between the moms and dads, my sisters and brothers-in-laws, there are 3 Arkansas graduates and 1 Missouri graduate. Plus you have a grandma that's trying to saturate with Alabama and the grandpa that's trying to convince them to say Sikkim. So it's you've got a lot coming at once. In your household, it sounds like that it's either Woo Pig or Roll Tide, and Woo Pig is winning at that point. Were you ever, your dad didn't have any other college teams besides Arkansas, did he? He was straight Razorback back in the day. My dad was Baylor, but he went to Arkansas games and stuff, but raised right, I guess.
Well, born in, all of my house, born and raised right here. Dad played football at Ouachita, but never, there was no reason to root for anybody else.
No. And even like you think about colleges like Ouachita, Henderson State, UCA, Arkansas Tech, a lot of those teams, a lot of those players will still be Arkansas Razorback fans. They have ties to their alma mater and they want them to succeed, but at the end of the day, they call the Hogs. B in Clarksville with text saying he considers himself a cow pal. I have seen, again, a nickname or two, a message or two, and some of these build-ups with John Calipari. And again, he's filled 5 of his 13 roster spots with scholarship players. I tend to think that it's going to be 6 after 12 o'clock today. Make sure you're listening on halftime for that live update on what Brandon Garrison decides to do with his future. But you've added, again, not just pieces. You've added, again, loaded dudes because you're getting a good mix, right? You've got 3 freshmen. You've got a second-year player in Big Z that's been in Cal's system, and you're getting a veteran that's played in this conference. We always talk about the physicality of the league in the SEC. Aidoo abused you in Bud Walton Arena last year. Abused you. So it would be nice.
Dalton Connect to come with him? Is there any way to pull this off?
He will be playing for some NBA roster.
Any way to talk him
season.
out of the NBA and him join?
I don't even know if he has any eligibility left. But yeah, he was.
Can we petition the NCAA for another
year? That would be nice to have him for another season.
Aidoo's a stud now.
Not in orange and white, but in red and white.
Our man Bruce Stanton will be along in the next hour. I wonder how he feels about it. We'll look at the Pradco Pyramid of Power and how baseball's stacking up. Might be some movement at the top after Kentucky goes down to their series to South Carolina. All of our basketball conversations brought to you by the Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to LimberdTeam.com. And by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
All right, so when we return, we're going to talk to Marty Burlsworth, head of the Burlsworth Foundation. We got the Brandon Burlsworth camps coming up in about a month or so. Lifelong Hog fan. Get his thoughts on what went down in the NFL draft, the upcoming camps we have to look forward to, and what the football team looks like this season. Stay with us right here on the Morning Rush, ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
Do you want to listen to your favorite Hit That Line podcast? We've got you covered. Just click on the podcast tab at the top of hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line anywhere you listen to podcasts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Buy now and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Great to be on here with you guys. I think you guys do awesome work, and I really enjoy listening to you.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, Get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com. Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 479-319-5100.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in Conway and Fort Smith.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again, free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 6-1, visit staples.com/print for details.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Chuck, it's good to hear you, man.
Good to talk to you, Chuck.
It's always good to hear you, boy.
Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963.
Burlsworth, you guys just talked about. The Clark Kent, the Superman look there, 77. The previous touchdown, when they came off the field, the offensive coaches were saying, hey, big stud, we're coming after you, play after play after play. And that's what they did to me, 1, 2, 3, into the end zone. This guy is dominating offensively.
Dean, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student.
That highlight still resonates all these years later when you lost to Michigan in that great game. Brandon, huge part of that resurgence under Houston Nutt. We're going to talk to his older brother, Marty, coming up in just a bit as we're still rolling along here on a Bandwagon Tuesday.
Yeah, they're getting ready for their football camps, which is a big part of their mission. Looking forward to catching up with Marty in a second. Hey, if you're looking for a place to stay, whether it's for a baseball weekend coming up, postseason baseball that's going to happen at Baum Walker, or you're already looking at the fall football schedule and thinking about, all right, I'm going for these games, and you live like where Marty does in Harrison, or you're in Hot Springs, or you're in Clarksville, or somewhere that, hey, I want to stay overnight, call our friends at the Inn at the Mill and start booking those prime weekends. Or maybe, hey, I just need to catch my breath and get out of town and have a fun weekend. Maybe you got a concert at the Amp coming up. The Inn at the Mill's the place to stay. 479-443-1800 is their number. It's right in the heart of Northwest Arkansas, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. So it's a great, convenient location, really close to everything. The Amp, Crystal Bridges, that's where Marty likes to hang out. You know that? He's a very astute art critic. And loves to go up there and look at all the art. Or if you're just headed to the game, sitting near the Burles kids. 479-443-1800 or online at inatthemill.com.
Marty, camps are just around the corner. A month from tomorrow, you guys are going to be in Harrison. A little after that, you'll be in Little Rock. What's the excitement level been like these last couple weeks?
Oh, I mean, it's great, guys. I mean, camps are filling up fast, and our enrollment is limited, and so anyone listening out there, if you're looking at attending the camps this year, this is for ages 7 through 15 years old. Get in as soon as possible because they are really filling up fast. This is the 24th year of these Brandon Burlesworth football camps.
Marty, you always have former players. Who you got in line to help out the kiddos this year?
We will have some of our regulars, just the best guys like Ron Calcagney and Anthony Lucas, Jodine Davenport, and a really good list of guys. We don't have everyone confirmed just yet, but we'll have a real good. We'll have anywhere from 15 to 20 former Razorbacks, and we'll have some current Razorback players too. Now we're able to do that. I mean, everyone's volunteering. All of us volunteering for these camps, but we're able to have current Razorback players also. So that's pretty cool. Kind of, it's different since NIL came in. They're able to volunteer now, where in the past they had not been able to. So we don't have any names to announce right now for that, but we really never announce the names anyway. People, that's got to be where the camps kind of, they've got a reputation of their own, and we've got campers that come back year after year. Same campers come back year after year after year, not only in the state of Arkansas, but from other states.
Yeah, Marty, good to talk to you this morning. I know, we got a wide geographic audience, and you've got strategically placed camps, one in Little Rock and then one in Harrison. So, give us the dates and also the locations, because I know if someone's listening kind of in between the Little Rock or Harrison location, they can maybe figure out what's best for their kids.
Right. Yeah. Tommy, the May 31st is our Harrison camp. We'll have it at our high school stadium, FS Garrison Stadium. Really nice facility here in Harrison, and we also have an indoor facility that we'll utilize during camp. And then in Little Rock, Saturday, June 1st, will be at War Memorial. And camp fee is just $45 if you pre-register. And also, we anyone listening that knows of a child that's not able to attend, can't afford even the $45, just get in touch with us, and we have camp scholarships available. And if there's businesses out there or individuals that want to sponsor children, the same thing, get in touch with us, because these camps are for everyone, and we certainly, just like the Bulls kids, this is the program that we want. We don't want to exclude anyone who wants to be a part of it. They not only learn a lot of good football, but they get a lot of great life lessons at these camps.
Yeah, you mentioned the Burles kids. That's always kind of a game day tradition or something. I always notice is when they put the Burles kids on the big screens, and they always, John George always says a lot of these kids are seeing the Razorbacks for the first time, and that's a true statement. And one of y'all's missions is to introduce kids to the greatest team sport there is, and that's football. There's so many life lessons, as you said, can be learned from just being a part of a team and having people besides your parents hold you accountable.
Yeah, exactly, Tommy. And the Girls Kids programs, that was the first thing we did, and that's something Brandon and I had talked about, not at the college level, but, at the NFL level, because we've never really seen that done. I don't know, of another instance of a program like that on the college level, but when we still have Girls Kids in Indianapolis to this day. But these are children that have never had that opportunity, and one of the great things about that program over the years that we've learned is it's not only are they able to see the very first Razorback game or Indianapolis Colts game, but also in Arkansas be able to be on a college campus. And these children, come from less than ideal home situations, and maybe college has never been on their radar. And we have documented instances of kids that have gone on to attend the University of Arkansas. Johnny Gibson, former Razorback offensive lineman, for instance, was a Burles kid before he became a Razorback football player. And I know of a Razorback cheerleader, and there's so many more, I'm sure, that we don't know of. But we're able, just from having that experience of visiting, being at the Razorback game and getting to tour a college campus and see what that's all about.
All right.
Open their eyes to what the future could be.
All right, give us the contact info one more time, and we'll make sure everybody is fully aware. And I know that there's a website too they can go to.
Yeah, it's real, Tom. It's real easy to register. It's just BrandonBurlesworth.org. Football camp dates May 31st, June 1st, and ages, boys and girls, ages 7 through 15 years old. If you have any need any additional information, just email info@burlesworth.org. And we're looking forward to another great year of the Brandon Burlesworth football camps.
All right, BrandonBurlesworth.org. You can register there. And again, May 31st in Harrison, June the 1st at War Memorial. Buddies, good to hear from you this morning, and maybe we'll catch up one more time right before the camps get underway.
All right, Tommy. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Good talking to you. Thanks, guys.
Marty Burlesworth, the late Brandon Burlesworth, such an inspiration to a lot of people, and not just the movie, but also the recent SEC documentary that centered a lot, around that true characters around that 98 team, but a lot of Brandon's story, and Marty was featured in there. So his story is not only unique but inspirational to a lot.
25 years ago this past Sunday, the car wreck happened. I know this has got to be the NFL draft for Marty and his family, and really all of Harrison. It's got to be a time of year where people again are like, they get sentimental for that reason. I didn't think about it being that long, but yeah, 25 years ago this past Sunday, 2 days ago, that's when it all went down, unfortunately.
But think about this. In 20 or 22 years of life, he was able to make an impact, and through his brother's efforts, his legacy, so to speak, lives on. That, man, wouldn't it be cool? I mean, I don't expect people to remember me and talk about me 25 years after I've passed away. And certainly I didn't do anything in my first 22 years that would have merited that. So can you imagine living a full life, and then 25 years, people, still want to talk about, not just the player he was, but the person he was. So that's pretty cool right there.
Yep, Brandon definitely have an impact again all these years later. And on the subject of the NFL, Tommy, did you see that? It sounds like Jerry Jones and Ezekiel Elliott are rekindling.
I've seen this.
I thought that was interesting to see that the Cowboys are, quote unquote, as Mike Florio and Phil Simms put it, all in, jokingly.
He is returning. They didn't boast the numbers in the initial reports. Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram says it's 1 year, $3 million.
It's finally official.
Physical this morning at 8 o'clock.
They are all in.
He is back. All in.
All in.
There's a lot of sarcasm that's infused in Florio and Sims' comment. I didn't understand what the Cowboys did this offseason. I mean, from what I read, it sure seemed like Derrick Henry was interested in the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't just get this insane salary for the Baltimore Ravens, and that's going to be fun to watch Lamar Jackson and Henry. I just don't get it. And I like the Cowboys draft. I'm glad that they didn't try and go over the top or anything, because I feel like that sometimes has been an issue for Cowboys fans, is they just try to be flashy more than productive in the NFL draft. But I don't understand. I mean, you heard those comments from Jerry earlier in the offseason, and there's no evidence that proves or shows that they have been all in with this offseason. So if I'm a Cowboy fan, I am very, and a lot of them are, very disappointed with what's gone on so far.
And you follow it closer on the salary cap, and how much are they handcuffed by what they've spent already? Because
they're trying to get a long-term deal with Dak. They're trying to get a long-term deal with CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons, I guess, is another one that's coming up. So these are, I guess, the things they're trying to figure out and look and in the future and stuff.
I mean, I know it's Super Bowl or bust in a lot of people's minds, but it's not like they had a horrible season last year. It's not like they had a miserable failure that you needed an overhaul. So you say, well, they hadn't done a lot. Well, if you've got a lot of pieces coming back from a division championship team and a team that, would you say that team was, I don't know they're good enough to win the NFC, but they were good enough to get to the championship game. They just fell short. They had the pieces there. You agree with that?
The Cowboys are so much different in the regular season than they are in the playoffs. I mean, they have been really good in the regular season.
You think the pieces are there? Question is, which Dak do you get? San Francisco is just better.
Yeah, they don't have enough offensively to compete with San Francisco. I know Philly took a step back this last season relative to what people were expecting, but when you look at what San Francisco has and what Shanahan has at his disposal, it's not even close.
But they didn't play well. Kind of they slumped in the middle of the season,
and then they turned it on, and you had to go through San Francisco to get to the Super Bowl. So no,
if you wanted to say the Cowboys were the second or third best team in the NFC,
you can get on board with that.
Yeah, so I mean, the idea that hey, you need an overhaul of your roster, an overhaul of they made what when the offensive coordinator. I'm just trying to remember off the top. Didn't they change coordinators? Well, I know they had some change in their coaching staff.
Kellen Moore went to, I think, Los Angeles, and McCarthy took over calling plays. I don't know who, quote-unquote, is their offensive coordinator by title, but I think McCarthy actually took over for calling plays.
So, I mean, they're not far off is my point. I mean, the idea that they need to make a dozen changes in their roster, I don't think is
Let's just add some offensive pieces and they just haven't to this point. We'll see if they end up doing anything. The Dallas Cowboys, again, the most popular team in this state, but the Kansas City Chiefs sure are catching up the way they've been. You saw what they did in the draft with Worthy and some of the guys that they've managed to draft / pick up last few seasons. It's just it's night and day what Kansas City has right now versus what the Dallas Cowboys have on offense, and it starts with the starting quarterback. I just saw that Kelsey got signed, I think, the highest tight end deal ever, 2-year deal. So they have restocked the shelves, if you will.
I need to find a hookup on some tickets, man. You just getting online, secondary market just will crush you. Going to one of them guys. I'd like to take Dylan and my son-in-law to a game this year.
Arrowhead's,
but man, it's expensive.
I think I paid, so for me and my dad to go to opening, he hadn't been to a game in Arrowhead in 35 years. That's where he grew up. But I think I paid $240 per ticket for good seats in the end zone. I mean, is that crushing to you?
No. I mean, but go look at Cowboy tickets for decent. I mean, that $240 will get you somewhere maybe within sight of the screen in the middle of the field.
That's
I mean, it's just nuts.
That's my brother that is resident right outside there, Dallas and Las Colinas. He's occasionally shot me some ticket prices before, and yeah, it's pretty gross. But it's 6:44 here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. Just to reiterate some of the stuff we got going off of the Open. Jonas Aidoo, Tennessee center, commits to your Arkansas Razorbacks. Dominique Johnson has entered the transfer portal, and then Brandon Garrison is making his decision today, the Oklahoma State center. So we will keep you updated across our radio stations, hitthatline.com, and our brand new Hit That Line Now app. And now it's 6:45 here on a Tuesday. Let's get into our favorite segment of the week, that's CJ's Trivia Tuesday.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
It's delicious. There must be 50 customers out there. It's unbelievable.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
So I was looking at Arkansas's all-time recruits this morning, and Cal has already gotten 3 of the top 10, at least in the modern era, recruits ever to sign with Arkansas, being Billy Richmond, Memphis kid, and played elsewhere last couple years of high school. You got Boogie Fland and then I'm forgetting the other guy they just signed. You might have to help me on that. But 3 of the top 10 all-time signees with Arkansas basketball, which is pretty impressive to this point. And Carter Knox is the other one I'm thinking of. I want to know this morning, 877-377-6963. I want you to tell me who Arkansas' second highest rated recruit in the modern era is that signed with Arkansas but ended up going to the NBA. There's going to be a lot of guys with NBA aspirations in Fayetteville now, not just transfers, not just former Kentucky guys that I guess are transfers, but also these high school kids. This young man was recruited by, I guess, Nolan Richardson and signed, but elected to go to the NBA and in his future. And I think a lot of you, if you think about it, you know that name. It's not Andre Iguodala. I know that was the name. I think he ended up going to Arizona for a year or two, if I remember that timeline correct. It's not Andre Iguodala, so I'm giving you a little bit of help this morning. Do you know that do you know this answer off the top of your head, Tommy?
I do, but I don't need to answer because
it
would mess the whole segment.
Yeah, mess the whole segment again. So one more time. Here's our CJ's Butcher Boy Burger trivia question. Arkansas' second highest rated recruit ever in the modern era that signed with Arkansas but ended up going to the NBA. Again, our number is 877-377-6963. And on the subject of the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder closed out the New Orleans Pelicans last night. Happy to see Isaiah and Jalen moving on to that next round.
The Thunder will sweep the series in this first round over the New Orleans Pelicans. As SGA dribbles out the clock here in New Orleans, the Thunder enjoy a 97-89 win over New Orleans.
So happy to see Isaiah, happy to see Jalen move on. I don't know who they're playing in the next round, but that was if you missed staying up late last night, that's what happened. All right, we're going to go to Jimmy and Conway, who's got our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question possibly answered. Jimmy, who is the player, second highest rated recruit ever, that signed with Arkansas, ended up going to the NBA?
Al Jefferson.
That is correct. Ding, ding, ding. Al Jefferson, who had a long career in the National Basketball Association.
Celtics, right?
Would have loved. He played for a bunch of teams. Bobcats, Celtics.
But did he come out to the Celtics?
Drafted? I don't know where he's drafted.
That's right.
I don't know where he's drafted. But yes, that is.
You know that, Jimmy, for no additional prizes?
No, I don't.
I
do not.
He
would have saved Stan Heath's job, but he didn't come.
I was so it was Stan Heath that recruited him. I was thinking it was Nolan, but that might have been in
Iguodala was Nolan. That was.
I get those mixed up, maybe. Whatchamacallit? You have him, and there's some. That is a player you might be thinking of. ISO Joe Johnson. I think he was drafted to the Celtics. That's who you might be thinking. I could be wrong, but that's who I was thinking about. But yeah, the second highest rated recruit ever that didn't make it to campus. Jimmy, good answer, man. We will get you that CJ's Butcher Boy Burger gift card and appreciate you listening this morning. Every Tuesday at 6:45, we do our CJ's Butcher Boy Burger trivia, and really appreciate Jimmy. Really appreciate all of our listeners this morning. What was it?
First team, I was just reading again from the highly credible source of Wikipedia. 2004 to 07 played with the Celtics, then played for the T-Wolves, the Jazz, Bobcats, and Hornets, Pacers, and then looks like he played in China after he ended his NBA career in 18.
He was a guy that
was the Celtics.
Went to several NBA teams. Someone said Kevin
selected by the Celtics in the first round of the 04 draft, 15th overall pick.
Someone said Kevin Garnett. That would have been awesome if KG was was thinking about becoming an Arkansas Razorback, but like Al, ended up going straight out of high school. So that is, again, your answer, courtesy of our friends at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. I was going to get a chance to catch up with Keith this week. I know he's excited about this Arkansas baseball team. I saw Peyton Stovall with their day off, got a chance to go to CJ's on Sunday. That is the thing that the baseball players like to do when they do have a day off, or it's a Thursday through Saturday series. A lot of them, including Peyton, who is a spokesman for CJ's, will travel over to the Weddington location in Fayetteville, get the best burgers, the best fries. I don't know if they're drinking milkshakes, but they're definitely doing all that stuff at CJ's at both locations.
Number 2, no bun. Give me the onions and grilled onions and the mushrooms. And if you double up on the cheese, that's better. Now, I've convinced myself since there's no bun, it's somehow healthier for you. And I can't eat all the fries.
Lettuce wrap.
I don't like the lettuce wrap. Just give me a knife and fork. I'll just eat it like a hamburger steak. Skip the fries. Maybe you're with somebody that gets fries. They're not going to eat them all, so I'll just steal a few out of your tray and satisfy my my fry.
Get the fry sauce.
Fry sauce if you get the fries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go chicken sandwich, grilled chicken sandwich, do the fry sauce instead of mayonnaise. Extra pickles, tomatoes if you want them. Good to go.
Mm-hmm. And that's, again, courtesy of our friends at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. 2 locations in Russellville and in Fayetteville. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. So the NBA games on tonight. I mentioned the games that happened. OKC moves on. Boston's up 3-1 after a 14 win over Miami. Denver knocks out LeBron James, and they move on, winning their series 4-1. You've got the 76ers versus Chuck's Knicks tonight at 6 on TNT. The Magic versus the Cavs on NBA TV at 7. And then the Bucks and the Pacers, Bobby Portis and Patrick Beverly later on at 8:30 tonight. So that is the setup. Bucks on the break or the brink of elimination, as are the Philadelphia 76ers. So we'll see if both those teams are eliminated or if any of them survive. Anthony Black, unfortunately, not playing much for the Magic. I wish they would feature him more, but the playoff rotation as the NCAA tournament rotation for most men's basketball teams really shrinks, and it has for some of these rookies and younger guys for Arkansas basketball that maybe played some of the regular season, not getting much game time in the postseason.
Yeah, it's all on the line right now. Go with veteran hands. So, but it's fun to watch. It's fun to see. It also makes you pause and wonder. And you did get to some Sweet 16 Elite Eights, but with all that talent, how you just didn't get the break you needed to get through to the next level, because that's how you do it with NBA guys. And, makes you also wonder how Cal didn't do it more at Kentucky, but it makes you hopeful for what you're seeing in those first 5 recruits and the 4s and 5-star guys there that, hey, a lot of those guys are going to play down the road in the NBA as well.
A lot of Cal guys, NBA. Jamal Murray ended LeBron's season last night. He's not the only one that's had a good playoff run.
Hey, happy birthday to our buddy Kevin Hickey. It was his birthday yesterday. The Hickey & Hull Law Partners are growing their firm and have with 4 locations now in our state. They're in Mena. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Northwest Arkansas. They're also in Little Rock. So no matter where you're listening, they're ready to take care of you and fight aggressively for you from your corner. You need someone that's on your side. That's where Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull come into play for you. They've got over 7 decades of combined experience. Call their office number at 479-434-2414, and they'll get you set up for a consultation in whichever office is most convenient for you. That's 479-434-2414. Family law, business law, criminal matter, all areas of law, they can help you. 479-434-2414, or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
Hour 2 coming up next.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders?
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores.
Johnson, touchdown.
Had a solid 2021 season, really his best as an Arkansas Razorback. Now, while he sounds like he's jumping off the bandwagon, Jonas Aidoo sounds like he's jumping on the Arkansas bandwagon, signing with John Calipari in this program yesterday.
Vescovi. Double team gives the ball to Aidoo. Aidoo bounce pass to James. James, a little flip from in front, no good, but follows up with a two-hand slam.
This is a guy that absolutely unleashed fury on you in Bud Walton this past season. If you look at his career, 90 games at Tennessee, really came on 36 last year and improved each year. Each year you saw a improvement. 11.7 rebounds, 2 blocks last year. And according to CBS Sports' Matt Norlander, they're not done. What he said is, word out there is much more to come real soon in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We'll see if his prediction is right, but that's the good news we have for you here as we get going hour number 2 of a Bandwagon Tuesday.
And it is brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates. They're looking to add to their team. If you're looking for a new opportunity, join the Fence Man team. If you've got fence building experience, construction experience, carpentry experience, if you've got experience with welding skills, they're looking to add people to their team that have a variety of skills or just want to become a skilled fence builder. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. They offer great pay, great work environment, all the great tools and things you need to build quality fencing, they're going to have for you as well. That's the Fence Man. Apply in person, 1213 North 32nd Street. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
A text from Dave here on the McCarty Daniel hotline saying, I used to think a certain way about Cal because I didn't understand basketball. As I've watched and learned more about basketball, particularly the NCAA tournament with a winner-go-home format, I've come to respect how hard it is to win a championship. And a lot of people don't understand the difficulty of what UConn has done the past 2 seasons. Great players win games, great teams win championships. So 5 of the 13 scholarship places or scholarship have been filled for this Arkansas basketball team. Maybe you get an announcement at 12 o'clock from Brandon Garrison, the Oklahoma State transfer, and that could be almost halfway if he selects that Arkansas is his next destination. But thus far, again, as you heard in our open, Cal has built a top 5 class, which is good. Some are calling him the Hog Father. And when you think about Patino, when he used to walk into Bud Walton back in the day, and this would play. Now, Cal, this is a good thing for John Calipari, but I got a meme sent to me yesterday of Cal as the Hog Father, Tommy, and I don't hate it.
I think it was BE said he's a cow pal. I don't know that that's what you want to be as an adult in the fan base, but I'm sure somewhere along the way that's been used for some kind of kids group or young Razorbacks group. So I can see that. I like both those phrases for different things, but I don't know. I think we can be more original than the Hog Father.
You don't like the Hog Father?
I don't say I dislike it. I just think it's a retread. I think he is worthy of some new and more creative thought.
Okay. Tyler in Greenwood already wants to know when basketball starts. It will be the middle of October. Now I have pushed for
practice.
Yeah. They'll have a game in October.
basketball season won't start till.
Sorry, expedition game. Expedition games. Hold on. Exhibition games will start in October.
Yeah.
They will have that. That's what I always think. When I think
late October.
Yeah, when I think basketball season, that's what I initially start to.
Usually the second weekend of November. Now, they pushed it up last year a tad, but I hadn't looked at the November calendar to see how it falls, but the regular season will start early November.
I think that he has built enough of a push with this basketball program already that you can do a Midnight Madness. There were 6,000 or 7,000 just for his introduction. I think you could have 14 maybe for Midnight Madness if it's done right.
Oh,
and
I think more than that, because I think season tickets once again are going to be sold out.
Yeah,
hard to get.
Point.
And if you put it at a date and time where people might be their only chance to go,
maybe on a football weekend that Friday night. Or are you not a fan of that?
Depends on which Friday night. Depends on the
game time the next day.
If I've got to choose between watching my kid play or cheer and going to that, I'm going to go watch my kids. Now, you say Midnight Madness as though it's, back 20 years ago, no big deal. At my age, I don't know. Midnight, if that's when we're really going to start, because that used to be the deadline. That was the thing. I think you got to have some kind of open practice to start it. I don't know that it has to be at midnight. We have a little bit older fan base now. I don't know that midnight's necessarily the right time to do something
early
like
dinner
that.
madness.
Early
bird madness.
Early bird madness. Yeah, there you go. Let's do it at about 4:45.
Okay.
I don't know.
Here's the other thing.
I would say 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and here's the other thing I'm pushing for. And this is probably not in Cal's list at this point. Penny Hardaway was on his coach's show earlier this week, and he thinks he's going to be able to schedule the Razorbacks for a non-conference game this upcoming season.
Let's do it.
Now, if you're pushing that, and I don't think Cal's stunning for that, or that's on his, again, particular list of itinerary that's at the top of the list, first game needs to be in Fayetteville. You can play the second game in the FedEx Forum, but the first game, if we're going to do this, because we're dipping below to help you. It's not helping us to play Memphis. We're helping you. So the first game needs to be in Fayetteville.
Time out. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but where are there more basketball recruits for down the road for Arkansas's program? In Fayetteville in Northwest Arkansas or in the Memphis area?
Yeah, but I would
So if you're trying to get off to the right start for Cal, and obviously he is, I wouldn't be so quick to demand it's in Fayetteville. I hear what you're saying, and it's good for the fans, but from trying to get the next 4 or 5 star player, Memphis is going to be a hotter bed than Northwest Arkansas. No doubt about it.
There's no pushback from me whatsoever, but
and you get to play in an NBA arena by doing it.
Yeah,
that way.
As big as Penny Hardaway is in that city and that part of the state,
Cal's
still bigger.
Cal's bigger.
And Penny might not want to admit that, but it's true. All these years later, even though there's a lot of bad blood between Memphis Tiger fans and John Calipari, the way it went down with him leaving for Kentucky, he's still the bigger figure in that city. And it's very rare that you can say that over Penny Hardaway with anyone.
There's a huge fan base that's been energized on the east side of the state. So throw them a bone. Play that way. Play in Memphis, because you'll have a lot of Hog fans in the FedEx Forum if you play that way. I wouldn't mind that, knowing that there's a return trip the following year. I tend to think I'll like Cal's team year 2 more than year 1, but I'll reserve the option to change that opinion. All right, all of our Cal conversation brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com. And by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men. They're in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Go to maverickmalemedical.com. All
right, so when we come back, we're going to get our Morning Rush Daily question. Evidently, Tom Brady is doing this Netflix roast thing where Bill Belichick is going to be involved, reportedly. So if given the chance, who would you want to give your roast where they just rip you a new one? Who would host that? That's our question, and it's next on the Morning Rush.
The Cal era is here.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful.
Bill Belichick, 2. Roast, just basically you get up on stage and your friends, your family, and in his case, teammates and coaches just rip him a new one for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it's going to be. So, given the chance, given the opportunity for you to get just tethered on national television, who would you want? Now, I'll give you 2 answers. I think the easy answer for me is the Hall of Famer Clay Henry. Clay would have a field day on me for 30 minutes to an hour, and it would be freaking hysterical. Now, if I had a celebrity choice, it would have to be Charles Barkley.
Like, who made your bracelet? That looks like a great.
You know, I got this bracelet from a guy in the steam room back in Arizona.
You got what? Hey, Kenny, quit asking questions. You got the bracelet from a guy in the steam room. Yeah, Clay, please.
Ooh, did you hear what you just said? If you had a celebrity choice, you hear what he just said? He just said Clay wasn't a celebrity.
That's easy to get a hold of, easy to talk to. I don't think that's a slight on Clay. We do a show weekly together. There's a difference between a local...
Sorry, Clay, you just said you weren't a celebrity.
A local phenomenon and a... Charles,
he just called you a nobody, Clay.
Clay is not the same level as Charles, Sir Charles. I didn't think anything of it. Maybe Clay took that as a slight.
I hope Clay did take it as a slight.
Maybe that's incidentally roasting Clay. Yeah. I had no intention of doing that, but you get the difference. One guy is I can text and we consider a friend, or I consider a friend. Yeah. I don't know if he considers me a friend.
He doesn't.
Another guy is someone that would be a little harder to get a hold of, but it's just the funniest human being on the planet.
From all accounts, and some friends of ours that we both know, the Blairs, they were in Atlanta. Doing something. They stayed in the hotel that apparently Charles is an investor in, but hangs out in, spends a lot of time in, whatever. And he was having a business meeting like in the bar area and was just the nicest guy. If you wanted a picture, wanted an autograph, he just stopped what he's doing. Said he's just the most easy to approach, big time celebrity. He's a big time celebrity that you'd run into.
Joe Klein loves him. Joe, I remember, so I was in Auburn at the Auburn game, I guess 2 years ago, and Joe and him sat together and were hanging out together. And Auburn just got skull, you know what, that game. And so Joe was just having a blast, and he put a Razorback hat on Charles' head, which was fantastic. But I've heard similar run-ins that Charles has been a someone that you like to actually have conversations with, rather than some guys that are just DBs.
Yeah. So Clay first. I'd like to be second. Then we put Chuck third, and I think we'd have you crispy by the end of that.
Up.
Yeah, you would be roasted.
Okay. So now would Teddy be yours? Who would?
No.
So one of your friends. I think Clay would do the best job with me.
From a who in my circle could probably guys on my football crew, my officiating football crew, probably be number one. One of our good buddies, RB. He sarcasm's a gift for him. So I think Robert would be probably the first person to that I would call on. That'd be my first choice.
That would be I think he would do a good job.
Yeah.
Couple texts here on this subject.
He could handle that. He could handle that job.
Okay. Tyler Greenwood says, "Call it what it is. They already talk crap and roast you to your face." Fair enough, Robert. Jamie May says, "No one ever roasted better than Don Rickles."
Yep.
Tyler in South Korea, the guys on TNT are riot.
They used to have those roasts and they televise. They were like made for TV specials. No one does that really anymore.
No. Well, this one is apparently on Netflix. Now, I am a big fan of the old NBA on NBC theme, and there are reports out there that they're going to be another partner with the NBA and kind of do what they did in the 90s for $2.5 billion, which would kind of shove out TNT. And the only reason I want TNT to continue to be a part of the NBA coverage is because of Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. Because there's no better television show, post-game, sports-related, or anything for that matter than inside
why they
the NBA.
win the Emmys,
every year.
Yeah.
And it seems to be just improv, like just
it is?
off the
You think they're writing
cuff.
scripts? You think they're reading teleprompters?
No.
No.
They just do that off the cuff. Theo Vaughn and Pat McAfee, that's who Justin in Fayetteville want. Theo Vaughn's pretty hilarious. The Cajun, he's a big LSU fan. McAfee, I saw was in Morgantown recently. He is also all over the place. So those would be two good ones. You need someone that doesn't have a conscience. That's what you need.
Someone said on on the text machine here, Ron White earlier. That would be a good one if you're going to go like comedian, someone knows how to entertain a crowd, doesn't give a bleep. Ron White would be good.
You got to have someone that doesn't have a conscience, that doesn't care what you think or what anyone thinks, because they just care about humor. And so plenty of
celebrity
good ones.
roast.
Yeah, celebrity roast.
Is Brady going to actually follow through and do this TV thing this season?
Greg Olson's hoping he doesn't, because then Olson's getting slid back into that number 1 slot.
Fox's A-team needs some help.
Well, I did see, speaking of, I did see, so Matt Ryan's, they're kicking out Boomer Esiason and Phil Simms from that desk. Do you see that? Matt Ryan's sliding.
They've been trying to get rid of Phil Simms for
they kicked him off the number 1 spot. And
got him out. Tony Romo's in there. By the way, I've seen the list where there is a ATP to APT, that's minor league golf, if you will, that's going to be played in Fort Smith at Hartscrabble. Right now, Tony Romo is on the list of entrants.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool.
Coming up in a couple of weeks. So may have a Tony Romo sighting in our neck of the woods soon.
Okay. Well, that is
Someone sent me a screenshot of that, but he's on the list of.
When is that?
2 weeks. Leading up to Mother's Day weekend.
Okay. So it's recent. Or not recent, coming up soon. All right, that is your Morning Rush Daily Question. If you could have anyone roast you, friend, family, celebrity person, and it's presented by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
So Bruce Dan, Pradco Fishing, has been listening. Bruce, do you have someone that comes directly to your mind when you think about that question, who you'd be up on stage with that would just be giving you a new one?
Oh, it'd probably be my youngest brother, Billy. He's about 6'5", doesn't care what anybody thinks, says vulgar stuff. It'd probably be my brother, Billy.
Okay. Yeah. Now, family members know us best. There's that's very true. All right. Well, the big news here on these airwaves, Bruce, is the commitment of Jonas Aidoo and the signing of Jonas Aidoo. What did you think about not just him visiting Arkansas, but him deciding that he wants to play with Cal in his final season of eligibility?
Well, that one was, I think if you read the reports from Rick Barnes, that was kind of a puzzler. I think he thought they were cool, and then the next day, Jonas turned in his name in the transfer portal. So I really think he was caught off guard. No doubt, most improved player in the SEC last year. I think y'all talked earlier what he did on the Valentine's Day massacre up at Bub Walton. So he's a great player. He's not a stretch five. He can hit that mid-range jumper, take a big man out. Top defensive player, all SEC defense, all first-team SEC, second on the team in score that went to the Elite Eight and won the championship. So he's a great player, and I think he'll fit Cal's system well. He obviously had a really great game up at Rupp when they were going through that losing streak earlier this year. But it's a big signing.
So Awaka goes to Arizona. Nelson's staying in Alabama. What are some of the more notable SEC basketball moves that you've kept an eye on these last few days?
Well, I mean, Tennessee, obviously that they've gone out in the portal themselves. They got Felix Okpara from Ohio State, averaged almost 3 blocks a game. So more of a true five than what Aidoo was. So I think that's going to be their starting center. They went out and got Darlington Dubar, averaged 18 and 6 from Hofstra, one of the top 50 players in the portal. So, those are two really big signings for Tennessee, people that will probably come in and start. But, Aidoo, just based on what he's done at Tennessee and in the SEC, you have to say that's probably one of the bigger signings in the portal.
You also have 2 former Razorbacks last night, Bruce, that are moving on to the next round of the NBA playoffs, that being the Oklahoma City Thunder, who sweep the New Orleans Pelicans. Isaiah and Jalen, both happy to see them get to the next level. Isaiah had 2 points last night, and Jalen filled up the stat sheet with several different categories all over the place. You feeling good about your Oklahoma City Thunder in round number 2?
Well, Northside Grizzlies representing again. So, yeah, feeling real good about the Thunder. I like the 4-5 matchup, whether it's the Mavericks or the Clippers. I think the Thunder will have the upper hand on that. It's just a matter are they going to be able to beat the Nuggets in the finals? That's a tough ask. Nuggets are for real. And when Jamal Murray's driving and popping, I mean, everybody knows what Djokovic can do. It's that's going to be a tough out. But, hey, let's enjoy the Thunder sweeping and in the semifinals. So that's awesome.
Hoping Dallas moves on so you could have a Daniel Gafford and Jalen Williams front court matchup from time to time in that series, and having 3 Arkansas Razorbacks a part of that. All right, we've talked basketball. Let's talk some baseball. It is your Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who are the best baseball teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
All right, do we have any shakeup?
Yeah.
At the top this week?
I thought this was one of the more difficult Pradco Pyramid of Powers to put together because you could make a case for the top 4 teams being in 4 different orders, I thought. As tight as it is at the top. I mean, we talk about parity in a league. We talk about being top heavy. I don't know how you really describe the SEC right now that's got 9 teams in the D1 top 25. Let's see, 11 teams in the top 30. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 11 teams in the top 30 of the RPI. It's just crazy tight at the top right now. I have moved Arkansas back to the top spot this week in the Pradco Pyramid of Power. They won 2 of 3 from Florida. Kentucky moves down to number 2 because they lost 2 of 3 to South Carolina. He said, well, that's pretty easy. Well, you could certainly move A&M up there, who won 2 of 3 against Georgia, who is on the rise, and their RPI is a surprising number 9 in the country if you haven't paid attention to Georgia. I got A&M at 3, and Tennessee, who's won 6 in a row. Now, they swept Missouri over the weekend. They get Florida this weekend. They're number 3 in the D1 baseball poll. Bruce, I think you can make a case for, 3 of those 4 teams with A&M, Arkansas, and Kentucky to be at number 1, or at least Arkansas and A&M. Kentucky probably not so much after losing 2 of 3 to Carolina, but I got Arkansas 1, Kentucky 2. How do you have them stacked up this week?
Well, I picked Ty's favorite team, the Aggies.
Okay.
What impressed me about them this weekend, they were down 9-0 to Georgia in the first inning. Well, by the time the bottom of the first happened, it was 10-9 A&M. And they ended up mercy ruling them 19-9 in 7 innings. So they were down 9-0 and put a mercy rule on Georgia. They're 38-6, 15-6. A&M just keeps winning. That to me, they had the more impressive weekend against a more impressive opponent. And obviously, they're still behind Arkansas by a game. But I picked the Aggies number 1, Arkansas number 2. I mean, no doubt. The way they won that first game of the doubleheader Saturday, Peyton Holt stealing the show with the power show, and then the punk of the year in center field. They're number 2. And then I had the Vols number 3, best hitting team in college baseball. Actually showed they could win pitching games. They won 3-2 twice against Missouri, so they don't have to outslug you to beat you.
Yeah. So we've got them in a much different order. So I guess you have Kentucky at 4. I'm assuming.
I debated even keeping Kentucky in the top 6, but yeah, I got them at 4.
Wow. They're 16-5 and leading the East. May not make your top 6.
Dude, they lost 10-0 on Sunday against South Carolina.
I know. I thought Arkansas, and I'm not homering up, I thought Arkansas's ability from the mound to really keep the power and the home run hitting at bay for Florida. Now, I know that the third game got away from them with the grand slam, but I thought Arkansas's pitching showed out in a lot of ways over the weekend. That's why I put them at 1. Certainly can make a case for A&M to be 1 or 2. I just kept Kentucky 2 because that makes it 1 versus 2 this weekend, and those are the teams with a better conference record right now. All right, so we agree on the same teams in the top 4. We just got them in a bit different order. I've moved Mississippi State to 5. They had an impressive weekend, taking 2 of 3 on the road at Vanderbilt. They have a winning conference record at 12-9, which you're starting to have a hard time finding winning conference records once you get past about Team 7 right now in this league. And I've moved Mississippi State, who I think is playing some really good baseball, up to the 5th spot. Their RPI right now is only 28. They're 16th in the D1 baseball poll. I got Mississippi State at number 5.
Yeah, I saw that. They're coming on, but South Carolina taking 2 out of 3 against Kentucky. I just thought that was more impressive.
Okay.
That they're 29-14, 11-10. So I just felt like they had a better weekend, taking 2 out of 3 from the East leading Kentucky.
All right, I got South Carolina at 6 right behind them, and the reason I separated them is Mississippi State's record is, as you just pointed out, the one game better, and winning on the road at Vandy and winning in South Carolina, they won at home against Kentucky. So, that was the difference in my mind. So I got Arkansas at 1, Kentucky at 2, A&M at 3, even though they're top ranked in the poll, Tennessee at 4, State at 5, and South Carolina at 6. Who is your sixth team?
Yeah, the only difference, I guess, I didn't put Mississippi State in my poll. I had Georgia.
Okay.
I just think Charlie Condon's hitting .461. He's got about 300 home runs. I mean, he's just dominating when he gets up. They did lose 2 out of 3 to A&M, but they did beat A&M, and they smacked the ball around. So Georgia definitely looking like a team that will compete in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. I got Vandy, Georgia, and Bama, kind of my next 3 in. Then Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Auburn, Mizzou at the bottom of my league. And, man, looking at the RPI, it looks like 11 teams right now in a great position to make the NCAA tournament. Huge weekend for LSU, who host A&M. If they figure out a way to win that series, their RPI is going to rise from 42. I don't know if they can do that, but they are at home. Weird things happen in Baton Rouge, and A&M and LSU. I think you've got to root for LSU this weekend, obviously, if you're a Razorback fan.
Well, you always root. You never root for LSU, but I guess you will this weekend. I guess the question you got to ask between Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Tennessee, who wants to be ranked number 1 going into the NCAA tournament? I'd throw some of these midweek games and just get a couple losses on there, just to kind of check the brakes a little bit. Yeah. So let's be ranked number 2 or 3 and not wear that number 1 crown. It never works.
Speaking of midweek games, as I was looking at the schedule, there's a Wednesday night game between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Now, that's not a conference series. It's a one-off in the middle of the week, and this is something they've done for years. I don't know the history, and I didn't take the time to research it all out, but Ole Miss and Mississippi State play on Wednesday night, and then later on in the weekend, let's see, Ole Miss is at Auburn, and Bama's at Mississippi State. So that is not the beginning of their weekend series.
Well, I mean, what else are you going to do if you live in Mississippi? You might as well play each other.
I guess. Got Tennessee at Florida this weekend. Vandy at Georgia. That's an interesting series to me to see what Vanderbilt can do. And you're talking about the upstart or the uprising Georgia Bulldogs right now. We know that Arkansas is at Kentucky. I just mentioned Ole Miss at Auburn and Bama at Mississippi State. South Carolina at Missouri. They should be able to have a chance to win 3 this weekend. And then A&M and LSU, I think, is a critical series. Arkansas and Kentucky is going to get a lot of attention, but it's another moving weekend, if you will, in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the best team in the West, Arkansas, versus the best team in the East, Kentucky. That's the marquee matchup. I think Kentucky, they can play small ball. They have timely, good pitching. Can they make a few dents against Arkansas's great starting pitching and make a series of it? Kentucky's been setting attendance records this year. I'm sure with Cal coming to Arkansas and Big Z coming to Arkansas, there's probably a little more animosity toward Arkansas than usual. So I think it'll be a spicy crowd.
Yeah. How many runs are scored? I'd love to know the over-under for the Tennessee-Florida series. Those are 2 power-hitting teams that hit a lot of homers and score a lot of runs.
Yeah, Tennessee leads NCAA in home runs. Florida's got Big Jack. I'd say there'll probably be 3 to 4 home runs hit a game. I'll set the line at 11 home runs in a 3-game series.
All right, sounds good to me. So fun weekend. Just 3 weekends left in SEC play. Arkansas plays this weekend at Kentucky. Then you got A&M, and then you got Mississippi State too. What did I say? Kentucky, A&M, Mississippi State.
Flip them.
Oh, it's A&M's on the tail end. That's the last one. So yeah, flip flop those two.
That's a tough slate.
That's a tough.
At the beginning of the year, you wouldn't have think that slate would have been as tough as it is. But that's a tough slate.
And Mississippi State's a Mother's Day weekend, and they do play that Sunday
graduations that weekend too.
Weekend series.
And who would have thought that Arkansas's maybe toughest series, as you just kind of alluded to, Bruce, was on the road in Lexington and on the road in College Station. That's who Arkansas is going to have to beat for the overall SEC title and the SEC West division crown this year. Didn't think that was going to happen, but that's where things are right now.
Yeah.
Hey, who'd have thought Coach Cal would be at Fayetteville, Arkansas?
There's not a single person on this planet outside of maybe John Tyson that thought they had a snowball's chance of getting Cal here to Fayetteville.
Bruce, we've had a lot of rain this week, heavy downpours. It's got the water levels on the rise. I saw there was a small craft advisory on the river. Kind of give us an update on kind of what fishing conditions are like and what you might put on this week to have some success.
Well, the best bet going is a Yum Dinger. You can throw it in watermelon red. You can throw it in green pumpkin. You can throw it in Elder's Magic. You just need to throw it. Get a 2-aught scorpion or wacky rig hook. Hook that bait right in the middle. And I don't care if you're using a spinning rod with 8-pound fluorocarbon or a bait caster with 17-pound test. You want to get in the backs of these pockets. With this water on the right, on the river, you get way back in the creek, sloughs, backwater. Get on beaver, 10-killer, wherever you fish, Washita, get in the backs of these pockets, and, man, those fish are going to be coming up and spawning. We're past the April full moon, headed toward the May full moon, but fish are shallow. A lot of them have already spawned. A lot of them are getting ready to spawn, and some of them are even post-spawn. You can get a boss pop or a pop-ar. We're already catching topwater fish on Broken Bow. Water temperature is about 65, 66 degrees. So fish are real active, bass are shallow. Look at the bank, don't look behind you, and make a lot of casts. Anytime you see a stick or a wood in the water, a lily pad, throw near it. There's probably a bass nearby, and he's going to come out and get that Yum Dinger.
All right, find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Yum Dinger made by Pradco. All right, good luck fishing. Be careful if you're on the river this week. There's going to be some current out there, and we'll catch up with you next Tuesday.
All right, Ty, I got to admit, it hurt my heart deeply to see Jonas sign with the Razorbacks. That hurt.
We got room for you. You can come right over to our fan base. We'll find you a seat. Come right on over.
Has your wife given you any grief since that happened?
Always.
You can become a cow pal.
She's Dr. Stanton at the University of Arkansas Fayetteville, man. She's always giving me grief. Yep.
Love to hear that.
All right, man. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing, with us here in our Pradco Pyramid of Power. I got 1 and 2 Kentucky and Arkansas and Kentucky. That way we got a 1-2 matchup this weekend in Lexington. All that fishing talk's got me ready to fire up and get to Gaston's. I hadn't been to Gaston's in a while for a weekend. I was texting or messaging back and forth with Sean White, one of their guides, about fishing conditions and kind of what's going on. Good time to get there. And someone said, what's the best time of the year? Well, it's really not a bad time because with it being a tailwater fishery below the Bull Shoals Dam, the water doesn't change a whole lot throughout the course of the year. Water temperatures stay about the same. Sometimes moon phase and some other factors will make one day better than the other. Sometimes there's a shad kill coming through and some things you want to time up right and hope you hit it right when you get there. But that's the great thing about the expert guides when you get to Gaston's. You don't need to know or worry about any of that because they fish every day on the White River and understand it all. So if you're going to fish the White River, stay at Gaston's, use one of their expert guides, and you're going to have the trip of a lifetime. 870-431-5202, Gaston's. A first-class time every time.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Freddie Coleman of Freddie and Fitzsimmons of ESPN Radio, and you are listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Bills. I'm excited to watch. I'm not even a Bills fan, but I'm excited to watch Josh Allen and Keon Coleman this upcoming season. Apparently, Allen sent Keon Coleman a text. I know our coworker Karen loves her Buffalo Bills, and Stephon Diggs, I guess, is a Houston Texan now. So curious to see how that goes. But 2 more Razorbacks, Tommy, signed with NFL teams from this past season.
Yep, and it's moving time of the year, right? It's got to be ready to move him. I was texting with someone during the break about Aidoo, and we heard from Bruce Stanton earlier in the hour. Isn't it funny? We used to say politics make strange bedfellows, but now with the portal and the NIL, college basketball and college football can make strange bedfellows. We've learned that with Cal coming here, and then now players that were on Tennessee's roster or Kentucky's roster. You're glad they're on your roster, but it's funny the strange bedfellows college sports can now make.
Yep, and speaking of the transfer portal, it sounds like Dominique Johnson, according to Hogbeat, is moving on from Arkansas. This is still my favorite touchdown in his career.
Listen, man, he just looked different at that point. Jefferson gets out of trouble again. Throws on the run, wide open. It's Dominique Johnson and an Arkansas touchdown.
Baton Rouge, 2021, KJ escapes, finds a wide-open Damo, as Sam Pittman calls him, and the only touchdown Arkansas scored that game. And Cam Little kicks a game-winning field goal in overtime. You escape Baton Rouge for one of your few victories down there. That is, again, Damo had a much better 2021 in his sophomore season than any other year at Arkansas. Banged up, tore his ACL twice, and I'm going to guess was 3rd or 4th on the depth chart based on playing time in the red-white game, and now trying to go elsewhere. Don't know where he's going to land, but I hope the best for him. It's just not going to be in Fayetteville, it sounds like.
No, and with Augusta already leaving, it raises some question marks about where you're at with your running back room. Let's see, you got R-Dub, and who's the new guy?
Jaquinton Jackson.
So, somebody's got to want to come in out of the portal and understand their likely role to be a 3 or a 4.
Yep.
And that's kind of where things are at. And you got others that are in that room. So, I'm not going to say there's not carries, and we know injuries happen, but that's where you're at right now.
You mentioned talking with whoever about Jonas Aidoo. He signs with Arkansas last night.
Here's Aidoo with the steal. Gonna take it himself.
He was a guy last season that came into Bud Walton Arena and just pulverized you and had successful outings against some other SEC competition. 90 games under his belt. That's what I like. This guy's played 90 games for the Tennessee Volunteers, much of it in conference, improved every season for Rick Barnes and company. You're getting a veteran in this league, a guy that knows what it takes in terms of a physicality standpoint, and you might not be done. Brandon Garrison commits at 12 o'clock later on today. There's a pretty decent indication he could wind up as an Arkansas Razorback, so make sure you listen at halftime. But you've added to your team now 5 of your 13 scholarship roster. What am I can't think of that word. Roster positions filled.
Roster spots, maybe?
That's the word I'm looking for.
So 5 of 13 done. And I think the timing is something worth noting. I think John Calipari likes each of those guys to get their spotlight and their due. And I think the way these have been somewhat spaced out is not by accident always. So I think one a day is maybe what can expect moving forward. I guess Garrison's at noon today. Is that right?
Yes.
Noon today. So maybe you'll find out about him, and hopefully that's good news. And if it's not, I would suspect there'll be another name or another player maybe all of a sudden right on the heels of that if Garrison's announcement doesn't go your direction.
Other news here on your Hog Update. Richard Davenport had the commitment for Joe Moore, who's an offensive lineman from Syracuse, had an official visit this weekend in Fayetteville and is committed to Arkansas. Mentioned earlier, Penny Hardaway is wanting Memphis to play the Razorbacks this season. He thinks there's an indication that would lead him to believe a non-conference matchup could happen this year. Not only is Arkansas baseball back in action tonight in Bob Walker Stadium. Final midweek games of the season, Missouri State tonight at 6:30. Tomorrow at 4, the Arkansas softball team also plays this in Conway. as we've been talking about Hagen Smith.
Plays when in Conway?
Today at 7 in Conway. Okay. It's on the SEC or ESPN Plus. We've mentioned how Hagen Smith is trying to be the all-time leader in terms of strikeouts. Hannah Gamble is also trying to hit the home run record at Arkansas. She's at 44. The all-time record is Lenny Malkin at 50. So she has a chance potentially to lead Arkansas in home runs at the end of her career, or at least continue to climb on that chart. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It is always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
Brent is in Searcy this morning on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. He loves what's going on in Arkansas basketball recruiting. What's up, Brent?
Absolutely I do. I want to ask your guys' opinions, Ty and Tommy, on do you think getting Aidoo from Tennessee hurts our chances getting Brandon Garrison?
I don't think so, based on Cal's track record, and I don't know how he does it. I think it's like the competition. It's like, iron sharpens iron, that old phrase that your dad, your grandpa always used. Well, he probably uses something similar with these guys. It's like you're going to be playing NBA caliber competition, not just in SEC play at times, but each practice. And I know for me, being around certain people in athletics over the years, the better people I was around, the better I had to get. So I think while there might be some negative recruiting against that, Brent, I think that he's managed to get by that after all these years in Lexington.
I could not agree with you more, and I think that practice will be tougher for the Razorbacks than games probably this year. I'm expecting.
Yeah, and that was what it was in the Nolan days, right? I mean, we were lucky to have Davor Remax on with us this past Friday, and that's what he told us. He was like, yeah, practice was harder than games. You had the second team that beat the first team at times, and that first team was comprised of a college basketball just savant in Corliss Williamson, Scotty, Corey, Clint McDaniel. I'm forgetting, I think that Dwight Stewart started also on that team, but you think about that team versus the guys that would come off the bench and Al Diller, Davor, and some of the other guys. That's why that's why that team was so good, because of the depth they had. And that's why Cal's teams have been good. I know the postseason hasn't gone according, but the depth that they have. Think about when you went up against Kentucky these last 10 to 15 years. And it was so annoying when you get some great player in foul trouble or some talented player was having an off night, and then another guy would step up. That's what he's trying to build here in Fayetteville, where guys will be off one game or they'll get into foul trouble, and you just keep bringing in dudes. It's that getting off the bus team that you're hoping to have. And so far, so good.
Think about how competitive that makes the practices, and to borrow the phrase, iron sharpens iron, that just makes your players better when they have really, really competitive practices every day. Hey, for over a century, your friends and neighbors at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas have helped keep your farm or ranch up and running through the good and the not-so-good times, the tougher times. Visit myaglender.com or drop by any of their 25 locations near you and see how Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can keep your farm or ranch operating from sunrise to sunset. That's myaglender.com.
All right, we're going to get into our Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog Update coming up and talk to Tom Murphy on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, all in hour number 3, Bandwagon Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas has got you covered. Introducing Leaf Guard LeafGuard, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never, ever clog. With LeafGuard, you can kiss goodbye to all the hassle of climbing up and cleaning out all that muck and mud and shingle grit. No more hiring someone else to do it, or worse yet, risking serious damage and issues by doing nothing at all. Spring is finally here, which means it's time for LeafGuard's famous Ugly Gutter event. LeafGuard will swoop in, take down, and haul away all those unsightly gutters at absolutely no charge, and you'll receive an incredible 60% off installation on a whole house LeafGuard gutter system. But wait, there's more. Ask about the 0% financing options and additional discounts for seniors and military personnel. Do not let ugly gutters ruin your home's curb appeal or cause costly damage. Call 501-664-5400 or visit LeafGuardandMore.com to schedule your free estimate today. LeafGuard of Arkansas, protecting your home one seamless gutter at a time.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is The Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Engagement season is in full swing, and Diamond Center wants to be part of your story. For the entire month of April, we're offering 5 years of 0% interest on purchases. That's right, 5 years, 60 months, 0 interest financing. There has never been a better time to pick out the perfect engagement ring and pop the question. Let Diamond Center help you begin this next step of your journey together with 5 years of 0 interest financing for the entire month of April on all custom design and in-stock pieces of jewelry. Diamond Center, a legacy of love.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the Bases Loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section. We have the Bases Loaded beer Stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know?
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb, Facecram, you get it, Matt.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a GMC Sierra Crew Cab at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Choose from 2.7 or 5.3-liter Sierra Crew Cabs this month and get 2.9% for 72. Or get up to $6,500 in factory rebates on select 2024 GMC Sierra trucks. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the lower 80s. Clear to partly cloudy tonight. The overnight low will drop down to upper 50s to near 60. Wednesday, sunny skies. A slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm across the south. Highs in the mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
If you look at Arkansas's basketball recruiting rankings, and it's still early on in this process, they're number 6 on 24/7 Sports, number 5 on Rivals, and number 2 on On3. We are early on in this process, and yet you find yourself in the top 10. Pretty remarkable what Cal's done in this span of about 3 weeks.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McCarty-Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. Bandwagon Tuesday. Jonas Aidoo jumping on the Arkansas bandwagon. Announced last night he has signed with your Arkansas men's basketball program. The 5th signee with this class that John Calipari is constructing and building. Hoping to get some other news this week in regards to some high-caliber transfer players. According to Matt Norlander of CBS Sports, there is some more news that is coming, more good news. So we'll see if it ends up happening this week, next week. Whatever the case, though, it is popping off here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Top 5 classes you just heard in the open. It's only going to go up from here.
Yeah, I just want to know now. Don't tease me, Matt Norlander. I want to know now who's going to sign next. I think you're going to get more news today, just my feeling. Hey, Cinco de Mayo is on the way. It'll be here, and a lot of people celebrating this coming weekend. Joe's Grill and Cantina is the place. They're ready to celebrate with the fun beginning on Friday all the way through Sunday. They're normally closed on Sunday, but they're going to be open for Cinco de Mayo Sunday in celebration of the Mexican New Year. Bring the whole family. Endless enchiladas all day on Saturday. Margarita and food specials going on all weekend long. They're going to have live music, and they'll have their annual taco eating contest, which Ty won, not the Cinco de Mayo one, but he's won a taco eating contest before at Joe's. So get by. Cinco de Mayo starts on Friday with the celebration at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Runs all the way through the weekend. Cinco de Mayo at Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Before we get to our Pro Hog update, that reminds me, SmackDown, who worked here, was a part of our team, they just had their baby, and now I'm blanking off if it's a girl or a boy. They just had their kid. It is a baby girl. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it not being the case. I talked to him 2 or 3 weeks ago on the road when I saw this WWE truck, and we were chatting up a little bit. So I want to congratulate him and Reagan, who just had their baby girl recently.
Yeah. So everybody looks to be doing well, and Holland, her name is Holland.
Holland.
So, okay. But I saw a picture of Reagan and Holland and Matt, and they look to be not only healthy but extremely happy.
I've mentioned this on What Your Beef Wednesday. It is so hard for me to keep up, not just with kids' names of my friends, but also their genders from time to time, because I'm in a stage of life where so many of my friends are starting to have kids, and it's hard to remember who's who, just to be perfectly honest. So I kind of let them say the name and just go from there.
And then you guess?
Yeah, and then I guess. So, yeah. All right, let's get into it. Our Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog Update.
This is the Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog Update.
Giannis over to Bobby in the corner. We'll take it. Oh, Bobby's got it. Slam.
Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay & Associates can handle all your real estate needs. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. At Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Black didn't want the three. Drives instead and hammers it home. Well, that young man's aggressive.
All right, Big C, we got the NBA playoffs going on. Like I mentioned, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams in action last night. What did they manage to do for the Thunder?
Man, it was a good night for the Thunder last night, completing the sweep. Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams each scored in the Thunder's 97-89 Game 4 victory over the Pelicans. Isaiah had 2 points and a rebound. Williams had 3 points, 2 rebounds, a steal, and a few blocks. They cruised in that first opening round series.
And we heard Bruce say, you get the Mavericks or you get the Clippers. Yeah. I want the Mavericks. Not partially because obviously you're a Dallas Maverick fan. Like to see them move on for you, Big C, and also Daniel Gafford, 3 Razorbacks that you could see in the Western Conference semifinals.
Yep, I hope it's the Mavericks as well. They've got some work to do. Daniel Gafford for the Mavericks had 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 18 minutes of action on Sunday. The Mavs' furious comeback effort fell short against the Clippers, 116-111 after trailing by 31 points in the first half. The series is tied 2-2, and they are back in L.A., I believe. Game 5 is tomorrow.
Yeah, Luka's got to pick it up. He mentioned he feels like he's been letting Kyrie down. This is a guy that has been counted upon the last few years for Dallas and just not having a productive playoff thus far.
Now, Bobby Portis, not the greatest news on him. He got ejected in the first quarter of the Bucks-Pacers game on Sunday after drawing 2 technical fouls on the same play. Portis and Nembhard were called for technical fouls for shoving one another. Then officials gave Portis a second technical for slapping Nembhard in the head. The Pacers won the game 126-113, and they lead the series 3-1. Portis had 4 points and 3 rebounds in 6 minutes of play. Teammate Patrick Beverley had 9 points, 4 assists, and a steal in 20 minutes.
Yeah, with Giannis and I can't remember if Damian's playing tonight or not, but Tommy, you brought that up earlier this week. I mean, you just can't get baited. Like, this is a guy that is the number one option right now for Milwaukee, and Doc Rivers and his team are counting on him. Even if the Pacers are trying to pull some antics either during plays or after plays, you can't fall into that trap, or they're going to get eliminated tonight.
And now you've got, these are things that other players know that, hey, if you're a little bit of a hothead or you've got a propensity to do that, they'll do exactly what just happened and bait you into that situation. So, you've got to be aware, and he's been around long enough to know, the tricks of the trade. And I don't think any of that was necessarily. I don't say they planned to get him thrown out, but they planned to put him in that trouble because they knew. You get Portis out of the equation, they got a great chance to win.
If you punk him, the series is over. I think Bobby will bounce back tonight, just knowing what he typically brings to a basketball court. I expect him to have a really strong game against the Pacers tonight.
Where's that game at?
Ooh, I think it's in Indianapolis, but I could be wrong on that.
I think it may be back at Milwaukee.
Is it back in Milwaukee? Well,
Pacers are right.
Pacers are up 3-1. I know
got
that.
A phone in my hand. I'll look it up.
I don't remember if that game is in. I thought it was back, but I could be wrong on that.
It's hard.
It's 2. I think it's. I get confused sometimes. It is in Milwaukee. You're right, Big C. It's 2-2 because the series changed. It used to be 2-3-2, but I think it's shifted back to 2-2-1-1-1.
Which is better.
It's way better.
Sixers at Knicks tonight. Orlando at Cleveland tonight, and Indiana at Milwaukee.
Knicks will close it out. Cavs will win, and I think Bobby could have a good game, but I think the Pacers will ultimately win Game 5 tonight.
Miami and Boston tomorrow. Dallas and the Clippers.
Let's go Mavs.
Tomorrow.
Let's go Mavs.
That's the best series. The one that
3-1.
Hard to predict.
Boston leads 3-1. Then the Mavericks and the Clips are tied.
Hopefully Boston just punks Miami so Jordan Walsh can get in some minutes at the tail end of that game. All right, what else we got, Big C? You got baseball?
We got NFL.
Oh, NFL.
In the NFL,
okay.
the Jaguars drafted Cam Little on the 212th pick. Bo Limmer was selected a few picks later to the Rams. Dwight McLaughlin was signed by the Minnesota Vikings. The Patriots signed undrafted free agent John Morgan III. The Buccaneers signed former Arkansas linebacker Antonio Greer Jr. as an undrafted free agent. The Bills invited Arkansas defensive back Alfaim Walcott to a rookie minicamp. Brady Latham signed with the Jets as an undrafted free agent, and the Saints signed undrafted free agent Trajan Jeffcoat.
I think that's 8. If I remember counting that up right. So 2 Razorbacks drafted, I think 6 signing of some sort. sort. Hoping to see some more names that eventually make the roster. The biggest ones, though, being Limmer to the Rams and Little to the Jags that are at least drafted off this weekend.
I'm not going to give you all the stats of the Hogs in the MLB, but I will talk about Andrew Benintendi and what he did Saturday night against the Rays. Trailing by a run in the 10th inning, he blasted a 2-run walk-off homer to give the White Sox an 8-7 win.
I think that's their 6th or 7th win of the season. So I remember Chuck was telling us that earlier this week. They're bad this year, but Benintendi, that was one of the few bright spots from this weekend. So again, he's typically, when I wake up in the morning, it's not just guys in the NBA that are having an impact the night before, but a lot of former Arkansas Razorback baseball players, specifically Dave Van Horn, that are making waves in the MLB too.
All right, that's your Pro Hog update. Yeah, 6-23 for the White Sox.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know a single White Sox fan. I know plenty. Big C's a Cubs fan.
I know one.
I don't know a single Chicago White Sox fan out there.
I would hate to be one. I really would.
Pro Hog update brought to you by Lindsay and Associates. They're celebrating 50 years in the real estate business. They're the leading real estate company in Northwest Arkansas. They have 3 locations. So whether you're listing, selling, or you're leasing, Lindsay and Associates can handle everything you need when it comes to your real estate needs. They have over 200 professionally trained agents, 3 convenient locations, as I mentioned. They're in Fayetteville, they're in Rogers, they're in Bentonville as well. So wherever you're listening to Northwest Arkansas, Lindsay and Associates are nearby. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. That's lindsay.com. At Lindsay and Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Before we talk to Tom Murphy, let's talk to Lane, who's in Cave City, home of the best watermelons in the state. What's up, Lane?
Hey, not much, guys. Y'all doing all right?
Doing good, buddy.
Hey, so this ain't Razorback related, but I just want to get y'all's opinion on it. So I'm not an NBA guy. I kind of pay a little bit of attention during playoffs when they actually start playing. But I heard on Sports Center this morning LeBron remarks about whether he was going to be a Laker next year or not, and he wouldn't answer the question. My take on it, guys, is maybe he's just doing that for publicity. I mean, getting people to just talk about him through the off season since he's not going to be in the playoffs. Just kind of want to see what y'all's thoughts were on that.
All right, Lane. Well, if you missed it, here was the exchange.
Tonight, was there any thought at all that, this could have been your last game with the Lakers?
I'm not going to answer that.
He's got his right to not answer it, but here's the thing. This has been a failure. Los Angeles, it's about championships. They've got 1 in 6 years. They've had some runs. He's played well, but he's not the same caliber player that he used to be. And they can't. And it's not all on him. He has to be a second or third guy, and I don't know if he's willing to do that anymore in his future. I think that he's wanting to play with his son. In fact, he's been open about wanting to play with his son. His son can't play in the NBA. He can't play college, and he can't play in the NBA. So he's trying to shove a square peg through a round hole. It's not going to happen. Or some franchise is going to give him everything he wants, and it's going to be a failure, as it's been with the exception of that one NBA Finals win in the bubble, which some say didn't even count as a failure. So that is LeBron James. Again, his trajectory, the ending of his career, it's in a tailspin. I know Michael had the Wizards years where that was just a different situation, but Michael ends it with the Bulls with the championship in 98 against Utah. LeBron is ending it in this way where they didn't get swept, but they basically got swept by the Nuggets last night. All right, let's talk to our friend Tom Murphy on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Tom, we haven't talked a ton of baseball yet this morning, so we'll start that with you. One of your colleagues wrote a good piece about Will McIntyre's struggles, and I know Brady Tigert, Coach Van Horn came to his defense, but really the last 3, 4, 5 outings, Mac has not been what we've expected him to be this year. What have you taken away from one of Arkansas's, if not their strongest bullpen guy, and do you expect him to turn it around these coming weeks?
Good morning, y'all. Hey, yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. Baseball is so mental, and I just think that his cutter is not having the same action. This is just a guess. It's not breaking the way it had been earlier in the season, and teams are able to square up on the pitch better. And so the mechanics of pitching and repeating the motion is such an art, and I'm sure they've broken it down on all the technology they have. I was trying to think of the name of it, and it's just not coming to me. But the melody or harmony, something like
harmony,
Rhapsody.
Yeah,
one of those. Anyway, I'm sure they've broken that down, motion, millisecond by millisecond on release point and everything like that. And so he just needs to have a good outing or two and rediscover his pitch motion and release point and all those things because, early in the season, he was so dominant. People were saying, he's found a pitch much like Kevin Kopps did. I mean, that's the level of his dominance. His ERA was in the ones for quite a while, but his last several outings have not gone well. The good thing for Arkansas is they've got a bullpen that you can pick and choose on a given day. I mean, Faraday had a great performance the other day, another right-hander, and, Cooper Dossett has thrown well. And, I mean, you could go on and on about the arms that they could turn to. But, a veteran guy who's been on the mound at the College World Series more than once in pressure situations and super regionals and big games, you'd really like to have his services. But if he doesn't, turn it around, he's not going to be on the mound. He's not going to piggyback Hagen Smith on a Friday. I mean, he's got to be able to find it.
What about Kendall Diggs? And Tom, I know he's nursing, I think it's a shoulder injury, but Dave got asked about him too. And I know he was dealing that when the slump kind of happened, but are you expecting him to get back into form, or is it going to take a few weeks before we see the Kendall Diggs we're used to?
Well, I mean, no one knows the answer to that. And it's just like with McIntyre. Baseball's so mental. The confidence game is big. And he is on an extended slump now that's lasted multiple weeks and hasn't affected his defense, which is good. But did something happen in his swing when his shoulder was hurting that he can't now get back to what he had been before? Because he's come up with the bases loaded, I don't know how many times in the last month. And his numbers with the bases loaded were, I think, batting in the 400s. He just had an unbelievable average and production rate with the bases loaded before. And this year just hasn't been there for him. And, they could have made the complexion of games different in the last few weeks, even conference games, if he had delivered in the clutch. And he's in that situation where guys like McLaughlin and Aloy, Stovall are getting on ahead of him, and he's left them on the bases a good bit. So, he wants to, he's hurting, his teammates are propping him up, but it's just like McIntyre, man. He's just, at some point, he's going to have to start delivering because, without him, I don't see how they go deep into June unless he's back on in the game.
Tom Murphy with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hagen Smith becomes just the third Razorback to eclipse 300 strikeouts in a career. He's now second, trailing only to Nick Smith at 345. Does he catch Nick Smith? He's got 3 regular season starts. I don't know that he's guaranteed to start at the SEC tournament. Then you'd have 1 in the regional, and you assume the super regionals and maybe beyond. Can he catch 35 more strikeouts with what's still ahead with 3 weeks left in the regular season?
Right. As a prop bet, the odds would be in your favor. He's averaging about 6 innings an outing, and so 18 innings. And if you look up his strikeout rate, it's going to put him right on it. Probably on the third start. The last start of the regular season at A&M. And you're right. I wouldn't say he's guaranteed a start in Hoover, but you want to keep him on schedule. So he'll probably pitch in Hoover the first game, I would think. And so the odds are strongly in favor of him surpassing Nick Schmidt.
He had 11 strikeouts over this past weekend in their series against Florida. So I think we're just so used to records and we're so used to these elite performances. I don't think we really truly have found the gravity in what we're watching here with Hagen Smith.
Yeah, and I don't know, it feels like it was about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we were asking Dave Van Horn about him, and he kind of mentioned he hopes the fans recognize this. And after his last start, he said when he's on, he's as good as anybody I've ever had. So, another lefty, Nick Schmidt. And Hagan is just such a humble guy. He doesn't say a whole lot. He just wants to win. And what a leader-type personality to have in your clubhouse. But the tough part being his last two starts have both been 2-1 games. He got the win in the first one, and he did not in the second against Florida. So they've got to this was a deal early in the season when they weren't scoring runs for him, and then they went through a stretch where they did. And, and there's a point where they're probably going to start stretching him out a little bit more to prepare him for, 105, 110 pitch outing if he needs to get through the seventh or get through the eighth inning of a big game down the road. So what a valuable piece to have leading off your pitching staff every weekend.
Particularly until Molina's back and solid, because, McIntyre hasn't been the sharpest the last few outings either. And, you don't need to eat into your long relief in game one, knowing that, you're not exactly solid behind that. That's the one thing that right now Arkansas needs to find a little more stability with.
Exactly.
Other than hitting, everybody talks about hitting, but it's not as solid pitching as people think.
Right, and you look at the course of a season, and here they are ranked number 2. I mean, they've been. If it wasn't for Texas A&M having an unbelievable season, they would have been 1 from week 3 or whatever it was up until now. But it's come with ups and downs. It's come with having to figure out different situations in the bullpen, and they've tinkered with their roster all season long. I think they've had 17 or 18 different starting lineups. Different guys have been hot. But yes, the pitching, the starting pitching behind Smith, Tigert has seemed to steady himself pretty well. But, who knows? I mean, if Molina, he can't continue to walk guys and give free bases, or who knows, they might find a spot for Bobby. And, I don't know what's happening with Colin Fisher. He's not starting tonight, but, he's a guy who could potentially start you a big postseason game.
Tom, we'll leave it there. Appreciate the time. We'll talk to you later on this week on Thursday morning.
Outstanding. See you.
Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. A good deal is never too far away. Find them online at McClartyDaniel.com.
All right, when we return, we'll talk more about the commitment and signing of Jonas Aidoo, also a few football guys, including where Jacoby Criswell has selected for his next school.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sockeye.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, American
Ball and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Your presence is honor enough. Yeah. That's plenty, believe me.
The set and the 0-1. High chop, Sprague-Lott coming from third. Bare hand throws home. Tag. What a play by Jared Sprague-Lott for the out at home plate. They're going to be showing that play on Top 10.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So I've got some entering and exit portal news. Football-wise, 2 exit moves, and then basketball-wise, you've got Jonas Aidoo, who is signed with this Arkansas basketball program. We're going to find out what Brandon Garrison thinks about you later on today at 12 o'clock, so make sure you stay tuned to Phil Elson and Matt Jones during halftime to hear where the Oklahoma State transfer is going to wind up going to school this next season. I'm going to wind up going to see Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources because it is the end of the month. Larry, it's the last day of April, man.
It is, Ty. Don't toy with me now. If you're coming in, come in today. Let me get you fixed up.
What time will you be there?
I know you need to trade cars. Yeah, can I set you up for about 3:15?
Yeah. How about 2:45? His schedule's pretty tight.
2:45 it is. I'll see you then. We'll get you taken care of. It's that kind of day. It really is exciting. I love the last day of the month. It's always a great time to come in and save on a premium pre-owned vehicle. And we've got a great selection in Fort Smith. Road Ready certified, folks. Certified cars with warranty. You can't do better. Not going to find a better used car. Great pricing. Some weekly specials save you up to $5,000. Look for those. They've got hang tags in the windows. So some very exciting things going on. We're bound to have one that's just right for you and your family. Let us worry about getting the price and payment where it fits your budget. That's what we do best. We've got the banks and lenders to help us do that. We'd love a chance to earn your business today at Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith. Now, this Mitsubishi lineup in Springdale, probably don't talk about it enough. That's where I'm going to be today, up here at Rath Mitsubishi at the corner of Don Tyson and 71B, where we've got a big selection of Mitsubishi Outlanders, 24 models, including the PHEVs. We've got good incentives on those right now, rates as low as 0%, trade assistance, cash to customer cash, total of $2,000. We can help you get into a great Mitsubishi Outlander, 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, all those incentives on the cars, and a great selection to choose from. And I know this brand's not on everybody's list, but I'm going to tell you, folks, I'm proud to be a Mitsubishi dealer. I love this brand. I love this city up here in Springdale and this whole Northwest Arkansas situation. We're so glad to be up here. Folks, come in and check out the Mitsubishi lineup. You're going to love it, and you're going to get that great warranty and that great service after the sale. Let me say something about the Meineke Car Care Centers. They're doing great. We could always use your business, too, if you got tires, brakes, batteries, major repairs. We do every bit of that in the Meineke Car Care Center, so you can come see us for that. Better yet, it's time to trade. Come and see us on the last day of the month. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, have a great day, and Ty, will see you at 2:45.
I'm looking forward to it. You guys have a great day, and folks, come and see us.
Again, that's Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources.
You kind of limped back in there, didn't you?
Well, I'm playing golf during that time, so just being honest. Sorry, Larry.
Larry, just call him here on the business line. Y'all can set a time up for earlier in the day.
Yeah, I'm booked out for a while. So Jonas Aidoo commits and signs with your Arkansas basketball program last night, and as of this morning, Colton, our new team member, sent me this tweet from Pete Thamel. Jacoby Criswell is going back to Chapel Hill, going back to North Carolina, which I find kind of interesting. I guess Snacks Johnson did the same thing, going back to Waco, Texas. As someone that's been to Waco and North Carolina, probably would much rather go to Chapel Hill. But that is the big news. And then you've also got Dominique Johnson that has hit the transfer portal too. And I was reminded, another Ty texted in her earlier that you did add, and I'd forgotten that you had added that Florida State running back. I think his name's Johnny Hill, but I would think you're still probably looking to add because you've got him, you've got Rashad Dominion, you've got Jaquindon Jackson, you've got Braylon Russell. And I think those are your 4 scholarship running backs right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to add one more. We'll have to wait and see what Sam Pittman decides to do with his remaining scholarships in the transfer portal this cycle.
Yeah. So not done. Portal's open, but you wonder how much you can move at this point in the portal and affect the top of the depth chart.
Yeah, and you made a good point. I mean, if you're in the portal now, spring ball, I mean, a lot of times, here's my thought. Jaquindon Jackson's going to be your starting running back, right? Rashad Dominion's probably going to be 2. Maybe it's flipped. So you're automatically at 3 at the best, right? There's rare as it a kid's going to come in here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and just supplant the other 2 guys and be the starting running back. He's going to have to work his way to even get carries in that rotation. Evidently, Dominique Johnson, Isaiah Augustive didn't think that they were going to factor in enough to be worthy of getting enough carries in Arkansas. And that's my thought. Maybe it's NIL, maybe it's something else. But that's a lot of times playing time is still a big deal for guys and gals when it comes to college sports. And that's what I think when it came to Dominique Johnson's decision to reportedly, according to Hogbeat, enter the transfer portal, or that he's going to.
So we'll watch how this unfolds over the the next couple of weeks and where Arkansas goes and where these guys land too. I mean, I think the NIL's become inviting a lot of these guys, and they've got maybe a false sense of security about what's waiting on them out there. So we'll just wait and see. Hey, Arts Barbecue, burgers, and more back at it today and Tuesday through Saturday. The best burgers. In fact, 10 different burgers on the menu. I have tried and love the new brisket burger. They take their hand-pattied hamburger, top it with cheese, but also put the caramelized onions, and then load it up with a nice big spoonful of their tender chopped brisket on top. Put that barbecue sauce on it. It is a great flavor. They've got 10 different unique burgers. Try any of them with bacon, and you're going to love them at Arts Barbecue. So stop in for a burger, house-cut fries, or maybe their homemade onion rings all today at Arts Barbecue, burgers and more, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's, or call 452-2550. They'll have it ready when you pull up to the window.
SEC update when we come back. Some announcement on the basketball side of things in this conference.
Even though you try to be, Ty, you just can't quite get there.
Well, I just probably can't get there. But you should try either.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is The Morning Rush.
Somebody get him a plane ticket for New York City.
Hey, I'm Hagan Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Harry Robinson Salasol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salasol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. JodysAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC has got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
So good news for Nate Oates and the Alabama Crimson Tide, as Grant Nelson is coming back for another year as that power forward / center. This is a guy that came on later in the season, had an unbelievable game against North Carolina, a big part of them getting to their first Final Four ever in the history of that program. Still waiting on Mark Sears. I was talking to an Alabama friend of mine yesterday. He is really excited, hoping he comes up to experience Bud Walton for the first time ever this year with the players. But that is a front court piece that Nate Oates desperately need. They got, especially with Pringle leaving. I forget where he ended up signing with, maybe Seton Hall, but that was much needed for Nate Oates. Toby Awaka has decided to take his talents, the former Tennessee Volunteer, to Arizona and Tucson. So a couple notable names, one staying, one leaving in the Southeastern Conference.
Yep, and there's going to, you mentioned that Alabama-Arkansas matchup next year. We've focused on Arkansas-Kentucky, but that's going to be another marquee game with some high-level talent. And I hadn't even thought about that game yet. I mean, it's become more important, but now that ratchets up even more. Arkansas now becomes a game a lot of teams are going to circle. A lot of fan bases are going to circle. And when Arkansas goes on the road to Auburn or goes on the road to Bama or LSU or any other place, now it's going to be a full house because everybody wants to see the talent. So you've become the marked man, if you will. You're the bullseye all of a sudden in this league.
Well, think about this. So you'll travel to Lexington this year. Might get a return trip depending on what the SEC does. You'll travel to Knoxville this year because they came to Fayetteville this year. You'll travel to Auburn this year because they came to Fayetteville this year. And Alabama comes here. So
Tennessee's going to be another one now with Aidoo.
With Aidoo. Yeah, that's why I brought that up.
That's going to be another big series wherever it's at.
3 of the expected top 4 teams, you will at least have to play them on the road. You might get the return at home, but based on the way that the SEC schedule is placed, you'll have to go to, again, the Jungle, to Lexington, and to Knoxville. We'll see if you get any return trips there. So Arkansas basketball, a lot of their games, which will bode well for them.
Probably Austin, too.
Yeah, which will bode well for them in the offseason, but in the postseason if they get there having these tough games. But yeah, I didn't even think about Texas. I don't know where the Oklahoma game, and I guess they playing. I forget. Are they playing that game in Tulsa? I don't think. Yeah, I think this past one was the last one.
You're right.
For the BOK Center. So yeah, that'd be. I mean, you want to see Texas
So
come
at least
in here.
Muss won't get thrown out this time.
Yes, you would at least like to see
Cal may, but Muss won't get thrown out this time.
You like to see Texas come to Fayetteville. Don't know what the schedule makers. I guess it's Womack that handles that.
That would not surprise me at all to see one or both of those be a home and home.
Which one, Texas or Oklahoma? Or just talking about both of them?
Maybe both.
Okay, both of them. Yeah. In terms of proximity,
but we're staying at 18 games, right?
I think. Yeah, I think so. I forget the rotation. I think they came out with the. I forgot what the basketball rotation is, but yeah, that is the setup for that. All right, other SEC news: baseball. Florida Atlantic's at Florida. Georgia's at Kennesaw State. Lipscomb's at Tennessee. Lindenwood and Missouri are some of the games on later tonight, and you will be hosting Missouri State. And Dave Van Horn was talking about the streak that ended earlier this week and talking about starting a new one.
We knew we were going to get beat sometime with who we're playing. It's been amazing. I told the team, start a new one. I didn't know how many we won. I said we won 25 or something. I didn't know how many we'd won in a row, and I told them that it's awfully hard to do because think of the people that we've beaten here to maintain that streak, and it's been great.
Yeah, and streaks like that, they're fun to talk about for fans. As you can see, he didn't even know the number exactly, and I believe that to be true. The only thing that matters is in the end is do you win your final home game, because that will be likely in a super regional. So, and likely that last game with a win, obviously you'll be going to the College World Series. So 29-2 or isn't it 29-2 at home? I don't know. That number doesn't really matters in the overall scheme, but a streak doesn't really matter in that regard.
They would have to fall off a cliff to not be a national seed.
Right.
I mean, you think about it, and it's tough. Like Chuck said yesterday, Mississippi State's better. They're playing a little better. You go to the best team in the East, and you close out the regular season with the team that's nipping at your heels right behind you in Texas A&M. So these last 3 weeks of the season are arguably the toughest stretch you've had to go through. And how Arkansas handles that, being two of them being road matchups, which they haven't. I say they haven't fared well. I mean, they have 6-7 losses on the year. I think it's
5-4 on the road.
Yeah,
there's 7 losses so in the season. Arkansas's road record is 5-4.
Yeah, so 5 of your 7 losses have come on the road. That being said,
four of your 7.
4 of your 7. Excuse me. That being said, your baseball team is very in line to be a national seed based on the way they've played thus far.
Kentucky fell to number 8 in the D1 baseball poll. They're third in the RPI after losing 2 of 3 this weekend. So from a poll standpoint, it's number 2 versus number 8 in Lexington. From an RPI standpoint, it's number 2 versus number 3 this weekend.
Big matchups. Big matchups ahead for Arkansas and Kentucky baseball. And I tend to think it's going to be ramped up, not just because Kentucky's good, but because the expedited animosity between the two programs based on their basketball programs. Not anything to do with baseball. Do you even know who Kentucky's baseball coach is?
Mark, I was reading yesterday. I haven't committed.
Okay. Because I can tell you who it is, and I don't really care.
Well, because he did a podcast interview, and he's talking about South Carolina fans dumping beer on their players in the dugout, and how the response was how classless it was. So I was reading up a little bit on Kentucky yesterday, and they had an adventurous weekend in Columbia.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
So that's I guess the last thing we'll close with here on our SEC update.
All right, brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas and their 46th anniversary sale. Get incredible deals on in-ground pools with savings up to $12,000. Construction can start by the end of May. You can get these savings right now on in-ground pools. Also, above-ground pools have special savings of $1,200 off, and that's on Doughboy above-ground pools. $5,000 off on Doughboy semi-in-ground pools, and hot tubs start at a low $39.99 right now. Celebrate their anniversary, 46 years in business. Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Springdale. They're also in Fort Smith. They do more than build pools. They build long-term relationships. Find them online at burtonpools.com.
So as we look forward to the rest of the week, I'll reference something Matt Norlander said of CBA Sports, that Arkansas is expected to have some real good news come out of Fayetteville. Hopefully get a chance to talk with Matt sometime this week and maybe pick his brain about who he thinks could wind up as an Arkansas Razorback. Good indications that Jonas Aidoo was going to end up a Hog. Sounds like he has. Sounds like he's crossed the T's and dotted the I's. Then you think about Brandon Garrison, whose announcement at 12 o'clock today. Cal is a rolling right now, and you don't want that train to stop anytime soon. Arkansas basketball players in action tonight. Bobby Portis, Patrick Beverly, as they try to stave off elimination from the Indiana Pacers. That game is the 8:30 game. Back in Milwaukee. I know Bobby will want to redeem himself after getting tossed in Game 4. I tend to think he's going to have a good game. I just don't think that the Bucks have enough firepower. I mean, you take away the two best players on any team of any franchise, it's probably not going to go good in the postseason, and that's just kind of what the Bucks have found themselves in with the injuries to both Giannis and Damian Lillard at this point of the season.
I'd agree with that. And Chuck was talking yesterday. It's probably the Celtics to lose right now in the East.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if the Knicks can have anything to say about that.
OKC has the tiebreaker. They won last night. They swept the New Orleans Pelicans. The good thing is OKC has the tiebreaker over Denver, number 1 seed. So while Denver is still the team to beat in the West, they have to go through Oklahoma City to do so. Now, they still have the advantage with maybe the best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic, and one of the better guards in the NBA, and Jamal Murray, who played for Cal, of course, at Kentucky. But that is good for OKC, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, and the rest of that team that they have that set up. And speaking of the NBA, there are reports out there that TNT might not be staying on with the NBA in this new deal that they're trying to sign. And that would be a travesty if we don't get to hear this conversation or conversations like this each week.
Disappointed in New Orleans. Where they going, Chuck? Galveston. That dirty water. We're not even gonna send them to Cancun. We're gonna send them to Galveston where that dirty water be washing up on the shore. You people think they're in the beach. Y'all look at it. Y'all gonna send y'all to Cancun. Y'all drive y'all quit. Drive down to Galveston. Come on, man. So they're not taking a little. Come on, they didn't even try, man.
Galveston, Texas, which I've been. Have you ever been to Galveston?
No,
it's the worst beach I've ever been to. It was horrible. I remember as a kid, the seagulls ate my McNuggets. I was salty after that trip. There's rocks everywhere. Don't waste your time going. But I referenced that Charles Barkley highlight that was earlier this week. There's just no better studio show. And if we miss out on Inside the NBA because NBA on NBC takes the deal and Prime and everything else that goes on, I'm going to be hacked off.
Well, why can't they move to wherever the rights go? We see that all the time. We see announcers move. I mean,
I think they're Turnermen. I think they're going to stick with
and do what? They want to work. They want to have a brand. They need to be on TV to have a brand. They're too valuable because of their ratings. Listen, if TNT and their parent company parts way with the NBA, you can bet that
I hope so. I hope
that
you're
crew
right.
will be moving. I was going to say trio, but that ain't right. That foursome will be moving somewhere else to commentate on the NBA. That will be as important to NBC or to Prime or anyone else that would bid on these rights is to lock that down to go with
four in. Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to have to worry about not seeing these guys again. And honestly, if they're on Prime, they could maybe even, I know that cable doesn't have the same rules as, broadcast airways, but on Prime, it could be even a little more blue.
Raunchier.
Well, I mean, just a little more authentic, maybe. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about not being able to see these guys moving forward.
I hope you're right. People have, I've seen credible journalists out there.
I'd almost say I know I'm right. They're not going to retire and quit doing it. And TNT won't have work for them. So I'm sure there's a clause in everyone's contract about the right. TNT isn't going to pay them to not be on the air.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, just think about the business.
Seeing how that shakes out. It's gonna
they'll be on somewhere. All right, brought to you this morning by our friends at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley Model Z's, all there. A lifetime warranty comes with every new RV they sell at Wheels. Just one of the many reasons they've been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, good conversations this morning with Marty Burlsworth of the Burlsworth Foundation, Tom Murphy with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports, and also our buddy Bruce Stan of Pradco Fishing. If you missed any of those, you can go to our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line, wherever you listen to podcasts, also on hitthatline.com and our brand new app, Hit That Line. Now, for Tommy, for Big C, I'm Ty. Enjoy the rest of your bandwagon Tuesday. Jonas Aidoo jumping on the Cal bandwagon. We'll see who else does this week. Talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Hello there,